And five, four, three, two. Hello, and welcome to my presentation on buying real estate with no money down. This is the first of a mini set of MP3 audios to come. If you don't know who I am, I'm Gboogie, the king of business credit. And last few months, I've been basically consulting, tutoring, and teaching the general public the ins and outs of business credit. But today, we're here to talk about something completely different. Today's topic is on buying real estate with no money down. And I like to address that phrase, no money down. I'm sure a lot of you have seen late night, these infomercials that come on TV. You got your Carlton Sheets, your Russ Whitneys, and so forth and so on. And a lot of, throughout the hype and the sales pitches and the props and the $1 million homes in the backdrop, the actual real definition of the word no money down has been lost. Today we're going to get into that, and we're going to explain deeply what that actually means, because it's a large misconception that's been going on throughout the United States and abroad, that most people think when you say buy with no money down, that means actually no cash whatsoever. So we're going to clarify that today. Buying real estate with no money down actually means no down payment in the traditional sense. It means you don't have to basically save up the 20% down payment that is usually required in a traditional home purchase or traditional mortgage. There are several ways to go about this. You actually have different techniques where you can purchase a home to live in or own with very little money down at all, depending on how you structure your contract. And then the other side of that coin is flipping properties with no money down. I have a lot of friends and family that are in the real estate game as well as myself. And starting out, if you start out on a shoestring and you have no money and you want to get into the real estate game, then I would suggest starting out on the flipping properties with no money down aspect of the business. The reason for this is because flipping properties with no money down allows you to quickly build cash, and that cash can later be used to purchase homes, to keep and rent out later. But coming right in, that's the way you basically build up your capital to really start any kind of business you would like. And we're going to get into that briefly. I was really tempted to write a book, ebook. I was tempted to actually put some of this on a website, but I feel like maybe 35, 40 minutes to an hour, I will be able to explain this to you to where you'll grasp the concept with no problem at all. And it doesn't really require a whole website dedicated to the subject. Although there are many, many different techniques for doing this, I try to bring the simplest technique available to the layman, the person who knows nothing about technical jargon, the person who knows nothing about any of these terms or has no real estate background whatsoever. And I've been getting a lot of requests lately for this, so I've decided today to take some time out to address this. So, if everybody's ready, we can get into it. I have to give you a kind of a parable of sorts, or kind of like a story, to help you understand the whole process of how this works. Real estate flipping with no money down here's an example that I think you may be able to relate to, because I'm sure all of you at one point in time have came across this same situation. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that you have a friend. You have two friends. We'll call them friend one and friend two. Friend one is your next door neighbor, and friend two is a guy that that lives across town. Friend one and friend two do not know each other. So with that being said, I just had to basically set up the premise and let you know how this is going to go. Now we're going to get into the plot. Friend one, your next door neighbor, while you're outside cutting your grass one day, sees you, comes outside and says, hey, I just bought a brand new sports car. You go over, he's excited, he shows you his new sports car. And, let's say at the time, for the sake of argument, you've been laid off from your job or whatever the case may be. You only have $100 in your pocket to your name, even though that's unrelated to the friend's new car. But let's just assume that you have $100 to your name, or you may have $1,000,000, but let's say you have $100. So you go over to friend one's house. Matter of fact, let's call them friend A and B. That's a little bit better. You go to friend A's house, who lives right next door to you. You go to check out his new shiny new sports car, and you talk for a little bit, and basically he just wants you to share in his joy. And just before you get ready to return back to your yard work, he informs you that his old clunker that he used to drive, he's now selling it. He gives you a price. Let's say just for the sake of argument, he'll take $500 for his old car, which would easily fetch way more than that on an open market. So you say, okay, just in passing, you don't need a vehicle, but you say, okay, well, if I find somebody, interested in it, or someone asks me, I'll let them know. I'll pass that on. He thanks you, then you go back to your yard work. Let's say another day you're out with friend B that lives across town, that is unassociated with your neighbor. And you're having a conversation or having a beer somewhere or whatever the case may be, and friend B says, coincidentally, he's telling you about how maybe his car broke down, or he's having car trouble, or maybe he's looking for a car for one of his children, whatever the case may be. So it just dawns on you, like, you don't tell that friend, but he also mentions in conversation that he has $1,000 to put towards the endeavor. So in the back of your mind, you say, okay, I have a friend, friend A actually has a car that pretty much fits what you're looking for, but you don't tell him this. You're just going through these motions in your head. You're like, friend A, my neighbor, let me go back and talk to my neighbor, and you tell that friend B while you're sitting there, okay, well, if I see something that you may, that fits your criteria and price range, I'll let you know. He thanks you, and you continue to enjoy your evening. The next morning, you go to friend A's house, your next door neighbor, and you basically tell him you're interested in his car. He tells you he wants, the $500 for it. And before you actually, or while you're in the process of talking to him about his car, several other people see that the car has a for sale sign on it, and they pull up into the yard and actually proceed to inquire about the details of purchasing the car and wanting to look at it and check it out. So, when you see the interest that's generated, after that person, the people, couple, whatever the case may be, after they leave, and tell the friend A that we may come back, we'll contact you, let you know what we decide to do. Then you go to friend A and say, well, hey, I'll buy the car from you, but you have to give me a week to raise the cash. Now remember, throughout this whole situation, you have $100 in your pocket. So you tell friend A, well, here's $40 for now, and I owe you $460. But you have to promise me you'll give me a week to come up with the money. And not only will I give you the $500, but I'll give you an extra $100 if you allow me that week. So friend A, finds that opportunity very tempting. He doesn't necessarily need the money. He just purchased the new car, so he can wait an extra few days. So then you go back to friend B, and you say, okay, I have a vehicle I can sell you for the $1,000. It's right in your price range. It's exactly $1,000. And he says, really? When can I get a chance to look at it? And you make an arrangement. You tell him, okay, well, I'll get back with you on that, and I'll let you know when we can set up a time when you can test drive it, take it to a mechanic, or what have you. You go back to friend A, let him know that you would like to, even though he's your friend and your neighbor and you've seen him driving the car, daily, you inform him that you may want to have a friend look at the car. Your friend may be a mechanic, or, I want to have my mechanic check it out, see anything that I need to have done, so that way I can prepare the extra money after I pay, purchase the car from you. You keep the title. I just need it for a minute to drive it over to my mechanic. And I'm pretty sure by now, at this point, you can see where I'm getting at.